I also want to jump into one other song, and this is the way you close out the album. It's called Circle.
Let's go. I love this song.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful song, and I think it's in many ways.
I feel like it's the most Abhi the Nomad song.
But in this song, I think it displays a lot more of like I think the more emotional, vulnerable side of yourself.
Yeah.
Is that something you tap into very often? You feel like, or is that something you?
I definitely do. I don't know. I feel like it's really difficult to tap into this type of emotion because this is not depression, and this is not, suicide or anything extreme. It's actually melancholy and gloom, and like that's kind of what This is gonna sound sad, but that's what I kind of live like. Like I'm just honestly in a constant state of gray. There are euphoric moments when I'm on tour and like, validating moments and stuff. But this is just like a constant state sort of like emotion that I try to tap into. And it's very difficult. Very few songs can capture that. I think even in popular music, very few songs can capture that where it's like, damn, I'm okay, but like there's some shit there.
Yeah, of course.
And that's what this song is supposed to be. And it's also supposed to be something that feels endless, like an endless gloom, which I mean it in a less negative way than it comes across. It's called Circle, and it's the last song on the album, and it's the same key as Extra Life, the first song on the album. So when it ends, actually, it loops perfectly into the whole album, just looping forever.
Oh, wow. So that makes sense, right? It's like the beginning of the album starts with like, you know what? I'm going to start again. I can do this again. I have an extra life.
Yeah, I have an extra life. And then you die at the end.
And you die at the end. Wow, that's interesting. And
or you almost die at the end, right?
And then you find your extra life.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so when you delve into that, I think that's like very human, right? It's like you can't really chase happiness. It's something. Emotions are something you experience, and I think
they are. And I think a lot of music and a lot of media kind of tries to really black and white emotion. Tries to take it to the extremes where it's like, Pharrell's "I'm Happy" or whatever, which is a bad song, guys. Let it go. I love Pharrell. It's a fucking bad song. It's like either that or like fucking like, oh, like if I'm not with you, I'll fucking jump in front of a train or whatever. There's like a middle ground. Like the human experience is like, something that can't be aptly put into words, but I'd like to try.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like all the time. And this shit isn't like a joke to me. Like, when I'm making music, it's like, I really fucking feel like this right now.
Yeah.
Wow. And I like to put that in words and stuff. And it's very difficult with songs like this.
Yeah, of course. Is it being vulnerable like this? Is there something about you that maybe scares you a little bit, or is it something that you
no, it's terrifying. Are you kidding me? Like, this is funny. Literally like a week ago, this fucking motherfucker on the couch, Harrison, called me on the phone, and he was playing like a phone prank with his girlfriend. Yeah. Where he had these prompts that his girlfriend would say that he had to say to me on the phone, and he was like, and so she would just like say random shit that he had to say to me. She was commanding the whole script of the phone call. And he was like, "I love you, man," and I started freaking out.
Really?
I was like, "What is wrong right now?" Because my emotional connection with people starts and ends when I'm drinking, and like in our everyday life, like we don't fucking talk about it. Like, I never just hit people up like, "How's it going, man? Yeah, I just want to check in on you, see how you're doing mentally, like whatever." Yeah, I just don't do that.
Is that something that you are trying to come around to, or something?
No, I'm very comfortable in my sort of just like walled up state. I kind of like it because then it allows me to pour most of it into music. And that's where I'd like it to live. Yeah. Outside of therapy, I do go to therapy. I think that is important. So I do have a private outlet for that. Yeah. But I also have a public outlet.
And so you take care of these things privately, but publicly it's a space where those pain, that emotions, whatever it may be, the grayness can live in a way that's not so gray.
It's contained, right?
Yeah.
It's articulated in a way that you can enjoy it as well and maybe even relate to it. But what I don't want to do is trauma dump on my friends.
Yeah.
right? Like I have people who have done that to me before, and it's very uncomfortable because it's like clearly you haven't processed this or whatever. And that's not to shame them at all. Most people can't afford therapy. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
But as far as what I can control, I can do all that stuff. I can afford therapy. I can afford to put my honest emotions in songs. So I'm not gonna, trauma dump on people or take shit out or project shit or like be insecure about shit and not talk about it. So I have both of those outlets, which is great. So as far as like emotionally connecting with people on like a personal level, kind of rare.
Yeah.
And it's only there and it only exists there when I feel like it deserves that. It deserves for me to push for that specifically.
Because there's a level of vulnerability that you have to tap into. And once it's there, it's like, okay, this is special.
This is special. Then it's like, I really respect this person to be open enough with them. Right?
Wow, that's incredible. And, that's one thing, those conversations, right, is the narrative's changing in generations, or like before those conversations didn't exist. And now it's like, yo, bro, like, I love you, dude, but you're trauma dumping right now. Like, maybe you should just like feel it out. And like, cause like, I'm not well equipped to tell you, you know, what to do. I'm just as lost and confused as
it's like, Jason, you're going through a divorce, but like, dude, I'm like wasted and like smoking a Marlboro Light. Like, I don't know what you want me to fucking do about this. Like, it's just not, some scenarios aren't the right, scenarios to do that. I think a lot of people are starting to figure that out now. And that's also unhealthy mentally to maybe overexpress.
Yeah, of course.
There is once again, here we hit the gray area. There's a middle ground to all of this. You don't have to be extremely open. I don't need to know that you're, if I ask you how you're doing, I do expect an NPC answer from you.
Yeah.
Unless you're like the homie, I don't expect you to be like, actually, man, I'm really down in the dumps these days. Because I don't actually generally care.
Yeah, exactly. It's like part of culture just to ask, and now you're like,
what it is. It's a societal norm, right? Like, I don't really give a shit. Yeah. Like, not in that way. Like, if it was dire, like, sure, I'll be there. Yeah. But like, if it's just like you're just like having a bad week or whatever, it's like, fucking deal with it, dude. Whatever. Yeah. I don't fucking care. Go to therapy.
Yeah, boo, dude.
Or don't. Or like write a song about it. I don't know. Yeah. Figure it out. Like, I'm almost 30. Like, I don't have time for.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I have time for my homies. That's about it.